Hi guys, it's Jordan from P&P Campers. Just going to be doing a handover video on this Wellhouse Misano 5. So this is the latest of the Misano range. This is the first one. This is actually their demo vehicle, one that you've probably seen a couple of videos on. So this is the actual demo ones. You've got all of the nice extras on here. You've got the nice alloys, roof bars, awning, all of the really, proper extras on here. It's got it all. Because it was their demo, they've literally just gone all out on it. So what I'll do is I'll just sort of run you under the bonnet, show you through under here, walk my way around the outside, and then I'll show you through the inside as well. It probably won't be a particularly long video because it is really, really straightforward and easy to use. There's not a huge amount to run through, but because this is their flagship model, there are a fair, more than you might expect in something this sort of size. So under the bonnet, over on the left-hand side, probably not particularly interesting, but you've got the two air conditioning pipes just here. So you've got two little valves. You've got one here at the front and one there at the back. Your air conditioning information is all on this little sticker just here. So you've got the name of the actual sort of stuff that goes in. That's that one. That's the latest one. You've also got on here a couple of bits to sort of know about, all to do with the kind of the actual building of the chassis and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, there you go. You have also got on the left hand side here, we've got your engine oil filling point. So you fill up your engine oil from here. You've then got down below here, the little yellow top dipstick down there. That is your engine oil dipstick there, so you can check on the engine oil's level. We've then got your brake fluid reservoir here at the top. All right, this is your brake fluid reservoir, and then your washer fluid is here at the front, and then you've got your engine coolant here in the middle. So, brake fluid, coolant, washer fluid, and engine oil. The air filter sits inside this casing just here. So if you ever wanted to get to that for any reason, you can do that from there. Obviously this is a brand new vehicle, so it's still got the original factory fitted stuff in all of this. So over on the right hand side, I think, to be honest, the only thing I need to run you through on this side is that you've got your engine battery just here. And if you wanted to jump start the van, then you have got, tells you just here, you've got a earthing point, which is looks like a little an earth or like a ground somewhere. So these new transits, I've not done one before, but if I was going to jump start it, obviously I would be looking at using the negative terminal because you've got good access to that. But if you don't have access to that, then you can pretty much use any decent looking earth. So you can use the engine mount down there, but because you have got access to that earthing point there on the battery, that's the better place to go. Showing you there, you can, if you want to, you can use this little thing down here, but again, if you've got access to this negative side of the battery, you might as well just use that. So what you've essentially got is a little cover just here which you can lift up and out of the way, so that then reveals this little prong of metal here, which is essentially your positive terminal for jump starting the van. They've put that in because if you were to have to try and get onto the positive terminal over there, it gets a bit tricky. So they've given you this nice little bit here. So jump starting, you've got positive terminal here and then negative on the other side of the battery. Fingers crossed you won't have to do that for a long time, but that is how you would do it if you did. Right, so that is about it for under the bonnet really. There's not much else to show you, I don't think, really. So just inside the passenger door, you can probably just about see that we've got your bonnet release handle just down there. So you've got the bonnet release on the near side or the passenger side of the van. All of the seats and all little bits of trim actually are all completely reupholstered to be in the Wellhouse colours here, so it matches the van throughout. Absolutely all of it, everywhere you look, has got the sort of nice trims. So yeah, a really, really nicely made van. So just down here to the right of the actual door, we've got your diesel filling point at the top, which you can just put the cap straight into, or the filling point into, and then below that we've got your add blue. So it will tell you on the dash as you're driving, it will tell you when you need to fill up add blue. You do have to have the door open. I'll just shut it just to prove the point, really. You have to have the door open in order to open this locker up, and obviously to close it as well. So if you have it closed like that, you will not be able to open this up. So I've got the table just here as well. So this is a nice little swiveling table. You can loosen this little handle here off if you want to. Loosen that off and then this will swivel around. You can then also loosen this handle off and turn the table up to whatever angle you want it to be at. So that makes for a nice little table here. Obviously these front seats swivel all the way around. So the idea would be that you would have the front seats swiveled round, table just here. You have obviously got another full-size table, which you can stand up, sort of stand alone with a tripod. But it's up to you how you want to lay that out. So I'll get to the inside in just a minute. Right. So just so you know as well, just something you probably is not that interesting, but you've got on the actual inside of this door here, you've got this button, which is how you release this secondary door. So the first one is obviously got the handle on the back. So this is your normal sort of pull open handle. But once you've done that, when you want to open up the other door, you have to press this little button here and the door will release itself. So that is how you open up this secondary door. A couple of spare bits in here. Well, I say spare, I should wipe the camera off a little bit. Not really spare bits, it's just the bits that come with the van. So you got a mattress topper, carpet there as well, so you can lay those bits out if you want to. You've also got ladder just here, which is the ladder to get you up into the top bunk when you've got the roof up, and awning winder just here. As I say, you got the awning on this one as well, and another bit of carpet there. So you've got all sorts of little bits and pieces in here. The table and tripod are just here. Okay, so this is the table leg and the table top. And then in the back of the van, we've got a couple of important bits really. So you've got your power supply unit, which is this big unit up here at the top, and then we've got your gas locker down here at the bottom. So power supply unit is important to know about because it means that this is your kind of the heart of the vehicle, if you like. This is where all of your leisure batteries power, the engine batteries power, the hookups power, everything electronic runs to this unit here and then gets diverted around the van to wherever it needs to go to. So you've got on the left hand side, before I get into that, on the left hand side here you've got a little bank of fuses. You don't have to do anything with those, that's just a little bank of fuses for various things. And then above that we've got your solar regulator. Because you've got a solar panel up on the roof, you have to have something in it to regulate the power coming in, so you've got that regulator up there. So at the bottom just here we have got a little row of fuses. Now this is essentially all of your 12-volt fuses for inside the van. So anything 12-volt related, so that can be your lights, your ignition, that sort of thing. If anything at all like that goes wrong, then you can check these fuses down here. Above that, we've then got your trip switches. So if you have anything, any issues with the mains powered appliances, so that's your electric hookup or your 3-pin sockets, then you would have a little look up there and check on the trip switches. And that's about it really. That's just sort of just pointing out that's what that is. You don't have to do anything with it, it's just that is where all your power goes to, and if you did have any problems, then that's where I would be looking. Just before I get to the gas locker, we've got on the outside just here, again, because it's a nice high spec model, you've got this nice external hot and cold water point. So you've got inside here, got a little point for this. So to use it, you basically push this in where it goes in and then twist it. Wherever you've twisted it to, whether it's cold or hot, will then be the water temperature coming out through this little bit here. And that is it. It's super easy. But that is your kind of external shower. So that can be for, well, whatever you want really, but dogs, boots, that kind of thing, you know, for washing off outside. Underneath that is an external access point for the gas locker. Bit tricky to do with one hand, I can do it with two. External access to the gas locker. So if, for example, you had the seat all the way back and it was covering this locker door and you couldn't get the gas locker open, you have got an emergency access point just here at the back. So you can open this up. Obviously when you've got two hands it's a lot easier. You can open this up and then you can get inside and turn the gas bottle off. So that's the idea behind this little valve on the outside. So you can open that up, reach your hand in, turn this gas bottle off, and then you don't have to worry about anything. That's if you're in a bit of an emergency, really. So the gas bottle itself is a Gaslow refillable bottle. So you have got the ability to refill this bottle at any petrol station that has LPG written on it. Now this isn't going to be every petrol station, so you do need to make sure that you sort of have a little look to make sure that the place you're going to actually has it. But because this is an 8 kilo bottle, it will last you a hell of a lot longer than you might think. Especially in this case with this particular van, because you've got a diesel heater and a diesel hot water system, sorry. So the only thing that actually works on the gas in this van is the hob and the grill. So you'll be hard pressed to get through this quickly because, you know, there's only a couple of things that really use it. So fill this up and then just basically just have a little look at the gauge on the top there and make sure that you are happy with the level that you've got in it. To turn the bottle on, we go anti-clockwise around to the left. Okay, and to turn the bottle off, we go all the way clockwise until it stops. To the right, we've got a little isolator. That is for your external gas point, which is down on the side of the van, which I'll show you in just a second, next door to the gas filling point. So to fill this bottle up and to use your external gas, if we look down here, we've got a couple of things down here. So if I take this little cap off, it reveals this little bayonet fitting, which is your external gas filling point, which it does say above it LPG fill. So that is your gas filling point. So any petrol station, like I said, that has LPG written on the sign there will allow you to fill up this gas tank. You basically just put the bayonet fitting on and go until it stops. You know, you'll know about it when it's full. So that is your LPG filling point just down there to the right. To the left, you've got your external gas point. So if you have a barbecue or something like that, it says there, barbecue point. You pop your fitting onto the end there. You obviously take the little red cap off, pop your fitting on, and then twist the little yellow valve, and that'll allow the gas to come through to your external barbecue. Don't forget to put this little black cap back on. And that's it. That's your external gas bits down there. So you have got a build number. Just here you can see build number 1. So this is the first one that they made. And that's why I was saying about it being their sort of, the first of this sort of flagship model and being their demo. So it has got all the nice bits and pieces on it. So on the off side of the van, apart from having the really nice stickers and decals running through, you've got a couple of bits actually to look at. So we've got just here, we've got your freshwater filling point, just here. Okay, so that's where you fill up your fresh water. And then to the right of that, we've got your external hookup point. So if you are at a campsite and you've got access to having a hookup cable plugged in, it is really helpful because it means that you've got power to all of your mains powered appliances. It means that your battery charger will come to life, so you don't have to worry about your battery voltage. And it just means that you don't have to worry about anything really. It just means that you've got power coming in. Now, obviously in this case you have got the solar panel up on the roof and a lithium battery to keep you going. But it is always a nice thing to have. You know, if you've got access to a hookup cable, I would just have it plugged in. It just means that you don't have to worry about any power at all, and you're going to be at maximum power all the time. Down low, underneath that, we have got your, just double check I'm saying the right thing. Yeah, so this one at the front just here is basically your like an external drain for the pump. So if you wanted to drain out all of your fresh water, you would open up this little valve just here. You would then open up the blue valve underneath there as well. Hopefully, I think my finger was covering the microphone just then. So yeah, open up both of these blue valves basically. Got one underneath just there and one here at the front. That is your two freshwater drain off points. Towards the front, we've got a grey valve just here, which is your wastewater drain off point. So if you wanted to drain out the wastewater, you've got the grey valve at the front, freshwater are your two blue valves at the back. So in the cab, there's not loads to run through because, to be honest with you, it's all just Ford related. I haven't actually even got the key in my pocket. It's essentially all on this center screen. The only thing that I will mention is that you've got this button just here. Now this is essentially one big button, okay? This button here will do all sorts of things for you, and when you press on it, it'll give you lots of different options on the screen, like driving conditions and stuff like that. So that's quite a handy button to know about. When you press on that, it'll give you a few options up on the screen there. The power switch, so the power on and off, turning the engine on and off basically, is this button just here. You will need to have the clutch pressed in to use this, but once you press that button in, it will then start the engine up. You've also then got another thing to mention is that your handbrake is an electronic handbrake, and the button for it is just down here in the middle, just underneath your hazard warning lights there. Well, this is on the 6-speed manual, so you've got the 6-speed gearbox here. Reverse is lift up on the back, over and up to the top left-hand side will pop you into reverse, and then you have got all sensors and stuff like that on there as well. All the goodies that you might expect, really. On the steering wheel, got a couple of nice little bits and pieces. So we've got over on this left-hand side, we've got your cruise control and lane assist. So you can set your cruise control up by basically pressing the top button just here to set the cruise control on, and then you can turn it off by pressing this button here, and set the speed up or down by pushing this up and down. To the right of that, we've got your lane assist, so you can turn that on and off from there, and it'll essentially just stop you from veering off into the separate lanes, but you don't have to use that if you don't want. You've then got underneath that, we've got your volume down and up buttons, and you've got voice command here as well. Over on the right, we've got, this is all to do with the screen up here, I think. You can go through the options here and just basically change a few bits and pieces on the screen. You can answer and decline phone calls from here, and you can skip songs from these two. To the right of that, we've got your lights, so you can essentially scroll through here and choose where your lights are. You can have them off all the way up to the back, as in to the left. You can have automatic lights, you can have permanently on. You can adjust the headlight aim, so that's going to be if you're towing something, you would adjust that. Well, that's about it really. There's not really much else to show you. It's all because it's all on this one screen in the middle. It's just very straightforward. You can't really go too far wrong with it. On the door, we have got, you can lock and unlock the cab from here. You can also adjust the wing mirrors, so you can select which mirror you want to move, and then you can push this button up and down to adjust the mirrors. You can bring the mirrors in by pressing this button just here, and that will then bring the mirrors in, and then you can just sort of put them back out whenever you need to. You've got your electric windows from here, as you would expect on a brand new vehicle. But there we go. So I'll just hop in now and just show you what we've got going on inside. So inside the van itself, as you can probably see, we've got the bed just here. Now I would say that this is a rock and roll bed, and technically it is, because it kind of folds out here, normal, really easy to use. This part folds over, that part folds down, just like your average rock and roll bed. But the difference of these well houses is that you get these rails that the bed actually sits in. So essentially you've got these little handles just here, which you lift up, and once you've lifted those up, you can move the entire bed system all the way forward or all the way back. Now this isn't all the way back at the moment. If you wanted to get rid of the stuff that's in the back there at the moment, you could push this way further back. And so obviously the idea behind that is that you can have, if you have some kids sat back here or something, you can have them right behind you here at the front, or you can have it all the way at the front and use the back end of the van as a massive van space. It's completely up to you. So you got such a massive difference here with the fact that this is so versatile. The fact that you can move this entire bed system is fantastic, really. So what I'll do is I'll show you through the control panel first. So the control panel, again, is another thing which is all very straightforward. So what you essentially get, if I just get you to try and hold it a bit more still, this is essentially your home screen here. Okay, so the home screen is going to give you a few options. So you've got lighting. When you press on lighting, you've got main, aux, and dimmer. So you can set the dimmer. Now the dimmer is basically these lights underneath the cupboards. So if I turn it off, you can see the lights go off there. So you can set your dim switch there if you want to use those lights. The next one over, power, is going to tell you what's going on with the power inside the vehicle. Now I've got the hookup plugged in at the moment, and you can see there it says charging the leisure battery. Now that is what we want to happen the majority of the time. So if you've got the hookup cable in and you're actually camping in the van, you want it to be charging up the leisure battery, because if you've got the hookup charging up the vehicle battery and you're using the leisure battery for all of your lights and stuff like that, then I mean, what's the point? The point is that you would have the hookup plugged in, charging up the battery that you're using, so you would want to leave it there on leisure. Anytime that there is power going into either battery, it will say charging, and it will also tell you how many amps are being put into that battery at any one time as well. It is also telling us that it is using power as well, so it's saying that there is power coming out of this battery where it says load, but there is also the power going back in. If you wanted to switch the power into the vehicle battery to charge the vehicle battery up for a while, you can press the little sort of van down here, and it will then start charging up the vehicle battery instead. Okay, so if you needed to do that, I mean, you just saw there the vehicle battery did say fair on the charge state, so it's not a bad idea to charge the vehicle battery up for a while. Okay, but for the time being, I'm going to leave it over here on leisure, because that is the battery that I actually want to use. Okay, so the next one we're going to get to, if I just go back to the home button, the next one is water. So this is going to tell us your freshwater level, which is empty at the moment because we've winterized it. And you've got a button there for the pump. So if you wanted to use the water to come through the actual taps, you can turn the pump switch on, and then you can be able to draw the water through to the tap. Simple as that. So if I go back, we've then got environment. So it's telling us that the internal temperature is 17 degrees and the humidity inside is 71%. And the external temperature is 12 degrees. We don't get any humidity for that, but that is just telling you your temperatures basically. And then the last one is the one that says heating. Now this is obviously your diesel heating, as I said, outside. So to use this, it is unbelievably simple. All you need to do is press the top button on just there, where it says on now. The lights will start to do a little bit of a flashing thing, and that's quite normal, but it will stop after about a minute. And what this does, by pressing the on button up there, as long as your target temperature here is higher than the actual temperature, the diesel heating is now coming on. I can then turn the fan on if I want to, and set my fan speed over on the right hand side. or I can also set it to auto if I want to as well. So you can set it to auto and the fan will do its own thing. Now I don't want to have that on really for now, because one, it's not really cold enough for it, but also we're inside, so I don't really want to, you know, when you use this diesel heating, it will smell quite strongly of diesel, so it is something quite important. If you're inside, please don't use the diesel heating, because it will just fill your area up with sort of diesel smell. So not particularly nice if you're inside. Outside on a campsite, absolutely fine, you know, go ahead and use that, it's not a problem at all. Okay, so literally, essentially just kind of press on at the top there, press on at the top, and then set your temperature higher than the actual temperature, and then you can adjust your fan speed. Easy as that. On the same sort of note, if you wanted to use the hot water, you can press this little button just here, and it'll give you a little green light, and that'll basically start warming the water up. Okay, and that is all on the diesel there, so the heating and the hot water is all diesel related. Which is why I was saying that having your, you know, pretty much the only thing, apart from the external gas point, the only other thing that works on the gas is this cooker. So, you know, it's not going to be using much gas whatsoever. So, around this area, the only other bits that we've got is a couple of light switches at the top here. And then to the right of that, we've got your fridge switch. So the fridge itself is a slide out 12 volt fridge, as you can see. Okay, it's a slide out 12 volt fridge, and it works from this little button here. So the one with the little amber switch on, amber light on it. If I switch that off, fridge is now completely turned off. If I turn it back on, fridge comes back to life. Inside the actual fridge itself, you've got a little dial here. So the fridge at the moment isn't actually doing anything because you've got it on off. So if I was to turn it on, just open this up so I can get my hand in there a bit. If I was to turn it on, we can turn it to whatever number we want it to go on, between minimum and maximum, and the fridge will then start to cool down. So you would essentially select the temperature on that and then adjust it as and where you need it to be. If it gets too frosty inside it, just turn it down a little bit. If it's not quite getting frosty enough, turn it up. As I said, you've got your 2-burner hob up here. So you have got an ignition for this. So ignition from this little button here. There we go. Now obviously I can't do this with one hand, can't do the other one as well, but your ignition switch will do both of those. Okay, and then underneath that, the grill, I'll just pull this little bit out. So you can pull this little part out just here, which stops any of this stuff above it getting warped and broken due to the heat. But you can, once you've got it in use, you can pull this little thing up and it will lock onto the magnetic strip there as well, which is quite a nice little thing. But basically the grill is slightly different in the sense that to light it up, you've got a piezo ignition, which is this little button here. Now they are a little bit noisy, but if you go to any campsite, you will just be hearing that all the time because the majority of motorhomes use piezo igniters. They are very reliable, they don't tend to go wrong, and they don't need any power to be able to be used. So it's a nice little thing to have. And there we go. So that is how you would light up the grill. Switch that off for now. So you have got a portaloo down here as well. Now I have got the bed too far forwards at the moment, but it is literally just a brand new portaloo. There's nothing to it. In this little bit down here, we've got a couple of bits. So you've got 2 gas isolators inside there. Let me just see if I can see what they're for. Yeah, so the one on the left hand side, the green one, is for your oven or the grill, and the one on the right, the yellow one, is for the 2-burner hob. So if you thought you had a problem with either of those things, as in you think that you've got a gas leak in one of those appliances, then you can isolate the gas by turning it 90 degrees. So, you know, you don't need to do that every time you get out of the van, but if you think you've got a specific issue with a specific appliance, then you can isolate it from there just to stop any worries, basically, and then get us to have a little look at it. So we have run through the van, everything's working absolutely lovely, as you might come to expect with a brand new vehicle. Just trying to think if there's anything else I need to run you through. I don't think there is, to be honest. It's with this sort of vehicle, because it is brand new and it's all kind of, you know, properly well made, it's their flagship model, not really expecting there to be any problems. But if you think there's anything that I've missed out, or if you want me to go through anything else, just give us a shout. But otherwise, we look forward to seeing you soon. Thanks very much.